What's up, guys? Hello and welcome to another Maker Monday. Oh boy, I hope you guys enjoyed the time off. I know I did. I really enjoyed the time off that we did. Hope you guys caught the last video on the Home Assistant garage door opener. If you didn't, there'll probably be a link at the end of this video to go check that out. That actually went really well. I want to thank you again to our friends at IC Station for providing the components for that, because that was an awesome deal. I hope you guys had a great Christmas and holidays, whatever, and a Happy New Year. And that brings me to the first topic. We've got the new year here. So I'm hoping that we'll have a great time this year. Got some great stuff planned for you all. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek of some of it. Patreon. I want to lead by saying Patreon. I know that I have a few Patreon supporters right now, and I know most of you are, a lot of you aren't. I will tell you, I've started a new exclusive series. I've kind of been talking about it. If you've been watching, if you ring the bell, make sure you subscribe down below and ring the bell so that way you get the notifications. But I've posted a few different things here and there, and one of those posts was talking about the new series that I'm doing that's only for Patreon patrons. So if you're not a patron, definitely check that out down there. It helps out the channel, helps me bring you guys more content, and you guys get some exclusives. The exclusive that we're doing right now is how to program in C. So I'm going to be going through the very basics of, like, starting with, if you don't know C programming language at all, that's what we're looking at. This is for you. I'm going to be teaching how to program in C, what variables are, what functions are, what we'll probably, I think, maybe go so far as doing classes and structures and all this stuff. We'll do all the different loops, for loops, do loops, while loops. We'll be doing the if-then ladders. We'll do switch case. We'll do it all in that. So I'm going to be showing all of that. So those of you that might be, somewhat struggling with the Arduino or the, programming things in C for the Raspberry Pi, or maybe even microchip, the PIC microcontrollers, which we haven't done one of those in a long time. I may have to revive that. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be teaching, is the fundamentals of C. This will be just fundamentals no matter what compiler you're using, whether it's microchip, whether it's Arduino, whether it's GCC, whether it's DJGPP, whether it's Borland, whether it's Microsoft, it doesn't matter. Just the basics of C programming we're going to be learning in this series. So I hope that you'll join me for that. Like I said, that's exclusively on Patreon. Link is down in the description. Also, what we're going to be looking at is, it has been brought to my attention, one of you guys let me know, so thank you very much, but it has been brought to my attention that our good network attached storage video is now obsolete. Open Media Vault has announced that they decided that they will be removing the USB section of Open Media Vault, which means any USB storage that you plug in will not show up in the device list. They decided to do this for a couple of reasons. They decided to do it because of the fact that USB is unreliable. And also because of the many different formats and whatnot that USB drives and stuff can come in and things like that. But mainly, the main reason was because USB is fairly unreliable, because it can disconnect and do weird things, which honestly, in my opinion, I have seen that. It only happened once to me on the Open Media Vault network attached storage that I did. It only happened once, but it does happen. So I guess I can kind of see why they would do that. But it does kind of stink. But I guess if it's not going to be reliable, they don't want that, tarnishing their name, because they want Open Media Vault to be a good, reliable, open source product. So I can understand why they did it. However, all is not lost if you still want to traverse the USB way of doing things, because I know that, at least not that I know of, so let me know in the comments, but I don't think that you can do any type of SATA connections or anything like that with the Raspberry Pi. I don't think there's any SATA hats or anything like that I know of that equips to the Raspberry Pi. Now, there is products out there. There's other boards that are kind of like Raspberry Pis or BeagleBones or whatever. There's another board, I can't remember the name of it, excuse me, right now off the top of my head, but there is a board that's out there that supports SATA that I believe you can run Open Media Vault on. But I'd like to stick to the Raspberry Pi, since that's what we're doing here on this channel, and that's something that most everyone has access to and doesn't break the bank to purchase it. So I'd like to do that. So I've got an upcoming video, all that intro. For an upcoming video, I'm going to be showing how to build your own RAID volume and your own basically your own NAS based on rudimentary Linux stuff. So Linux does have, in this version of Linux, a Raspbian or basically Debian Linux has built-in functions for doing a manual RAID, and I think it goes up to RAID 10, but it may only be RAID 5, I don't remember. I'll probably just do the simple RAID 0 mirror. And you can use Samba or SMB, whichever you're used to, but you can use that to then create the file share to that RAID mirror. And so you can essentially build your own network attached storage without having to use some sort of overlaying program or operating system or something like that. We can just do it inherently with the Raspbian image. So I'll be bringing that up. Will be coming shortly, as well as I think I've got some other ideas in the pipeline, and I'm going to turn it over to you guys. So again, if you haven't pushed subscribe, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't rung the bell, that's the little bell icons next to the subscribe, definitely do that, because it will let you know when I post some of my just updates and some of my surveys, because I do usually like 3-question surveys that I'll put out for some video ideas that I have in the pipeline, something I can create quickly, and I'll ask you guys, let you guys be the decision of which video you would like to see next. So definitely hit the bell icon and definitely hit subscribe if you haven't, so that way you don't miss out on that, because you guys get to kind of direct the channel. I kind of want to do that. I think I kind of want to put the power back in you guys' hands of where we're going to go with this information. And on that note, definitely leave in the comments of any video, doesn't matter, you can leave it in the comments of this one or any video you see if you want to let me know, or hit me up on Twitter or Facebook. I'm on both of those are down in the description as well, and let me know what you would like to see, what kind of content you like to see. You can always do that. I read every Facebook post, I read every Twitter post, and I read pretty much every, well, I definitely read every Facebook comment. I may be, or I mean YouTube comment, but I may be a little slow to respond to them just because there's a lot of very technical questions that you guys ask, which I love. I think it's fantastic, but it may take me a little bit to answer them. Now, we're getting to the end of this here because I've rattled on for quite a while, and that brings us to our tool of the day. Yay. And we're going to be talking about soldering irons. All right, so a soldering iron is a great tool for electronics and to get started in electronics and soldering different things, because this is really where the magic comes from, is putting together your circuit boards or your custom circuits. Now, I'm sure all of us have seen this one. In fact, I'm missing the tip out of it because I don't have one, because this is old, like really old, but a lot of us have seen this good old Radio Shack brand soldering iron, or whatever brand you may have. In fact, I have another one that I don't even know what brand this is. But anyway, the thing you want to look for, I know these are cheap, these are real cheap, and they catch your eye firsthand. However, they are kind of crap. However, if you don't have it in your budget, which I didn't at the time, it's the reason I have one, and I actually have like 2 or 3 of these. I think I have another one in my garage. If you just can't spend the money on a better one, and I'll show you what a good entry-level soldering iron would be if you're wanting to really, you know, take advantage of being able to control the heat and really be precise with it. There's a good entry-level one, but we'll get to that in a second. If you want to start off with one of these, my recommendation for this is I would not go any less than 40 watts, okay? So I wouldn't go any less than that, or I guess you could go 30 watts maybe, but really you need the 40 or 45 watt. For example, on this one, let me see if I can show you it. If you see right down at the bottom, can I get it to, oh, is it focusing on it? See how it says 15W? So this one, I don't know if you can see that, but it does say that. It says 15 watt. Oh, it actually says watt, it doesn't say W. It says 15 watt on it. That's not gonna cut it. Now, I mean, maybe some circuits, very, very thin traces, you know, small little items that you're soldering on, maybe surface mount stuff or whatever, this might work for at 15 watt, but I mean, it's just barely soldering the 6337 solder, which is the leaded solder. This will not solder the ROHS compliant stuff, that the silver and tin or whatever ROHS stuff. This does not have the heat to do it. So this would not be an ideal one. Now, the one that I have that's kind of an off-brand one, in fact, it's actually my wife's. This is a Wen soldering iron. Now this sucker is a 30 watt. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if the camera will focus. Focus! but it says 30 watt on there. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway. This is a good one. This one actually is pretty darn good. I've soldered a lot of stuff with this. My wife actually soldered a lot with this. I don't know if you guys know this, but my wife's an electrical engineer too. she's into electronics and everything too. And she was actually into electronics even in the military. My wife was in the military. So any case, this was hers that she used, and it was 30 watt. And believe it or not, this is where I started learning how to solder on. Believe it or not, was hers. And she actually gave me a lot of my pointers, so hats off to my wife. But anyway, I've got one of these that is kind of like a solder sucker type one. Let me tell you, these suck. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm just gonna tell you, these are kind of crap. I mean, it's a great novelty idea, but they always get plugged up. The solder always gets stuck in the little bulb thing. They suck. The reason I'm showing you this is because, as you can see on the end of it, it says 45 watt. I don't know if you can, is it focusing? Hopefully it's focusing. Anyway, this one would be 45 watt. Now, if you can find a normal soldering iron like this, but it says 45 watt, that's probably the best one. The 45 watters, I think, can barely solder the ROHS stuff, but they can definitely solder anything that maybe has like a ground plane attached to it. Whenever you have thermal vias and things like that, where it's like maybe a ground pin and they have a big copper pore on the board, that sucks the heat away from the tip very quickly because you got all this copper, okay? So you need something that's got a lot of heat to it, otherwise you're never gonna heat up that copper plate hot enough to where the solder will start melting. It'll be frustrating and it'll make you nuts. So anyway, a good example of a good one is one that I have over here. In fact, here, I'll just turn the camera. Bear with me a second. I'm going to loosen this and turn it. Okay, so let's see if I can turn this and move it down to where my bench is. Okay, here we go. See if we're doing this literally off the cuff here. All right, so this is my Weller that I have. I have a Weller WES 151, I think. Yeah, WES 51. And this is the analog version, okay? But it's got this base unit. You can control the temperature. I don't know if you can see that. I want to get it out of the way. See the knob? You can control the temperature. It has its own little station here. It has changeable tips, so you can have all these different, in fact, that's what's all on the side here. I don't know if you can see that, but those are all my different tips. You have some wide screwdriver tips, some very sharp pinpoint tips. It's a lot better, and since you can control the heat here, you can control whether or not it uses you can control the ROHS stuff. You can get it really hot for some copper pores and things like that may have thermal vias and have problems. It's just all around great. All right, now I'm gonna scoot back around to me. Ooh, I'm gonna be really close. Back off. Okay, so that's an example of a good entry-level one. I think they're about $100 or something like that. So if you're serious about soldering, that would be a great one to get. Also Hakko, H-A-K-K-O. Hakko makes a really good one. They're blue and they look just like that one, except they're blue. And it's a really good one as well. So check out something like that if you're wanting to get started. But if you absolutely have to buy one of these guys, which are like, I think 20 bucks or 10 bucks or something like that, get the high wattage one. Get the highest wattage you can get, because that way it'll be very versatile. You'll be able to do a lot of different things with it, okay? All right, guys, this has gone on long enough. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for all your support. To my patrons, thank you so much. To all of you that hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, thank you so much. This has been so much fun to be able to keep doing this, keep creating this. This is like a self-sustaining hobby. The more you guys support the channel, the more I can keep doing it, and I enjoy reading you guys' comments, and I enjoy doing this stuff anyway, and I enjoy sharing it with you. So guys, thank you so much. You are the reason that this channel stays around, and I really want you to know that, and I really want you to know how thankful I am for you. So cool videos coming up. Make sure smash that like button, ring that bell, and check me out on all the different socials. Don't forget to comment and like, and guys, I will see you next time.